The name of Azmat Mohammed, who's been remixing tunes for the Sahotas, D.C.S, Achanak, and Azaad. We're going to go inside and meet him. This is the man. Hello, Azmat.
Hi.
Now, tell me, Azmat, which tracks have you remixed in the last few months then?
On the remix album, Azaad, D.C.S, Sahotas, Achanak, and one big mega mix, and there was one of my own on the B-side as well. That one.
Which one did you really enjoy working with?
The Azaad was the best one because we had live percussion as well. We had a chance to do that in the studio. The guys from Masti came down and helped us to do some live percussion on that one.
And what about Achanak's Lakno Alade?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun as well.
Now, Azmat, loops and breaks play a big part in remixing Bhangra tracks, don't they?
That's alright, they do.
Can you show us how it's done?
Right, yeah, follow me to the sampler, if you will. Now, this is the heart of the system. What we do is we get the tracks from the record company on a 2-inch tape. It's played on that machine over there. That has 24 different tracks of music on it. Now what we do is, each track of those that on the actual tape might have the bass line on it, the breakbeat, the tone riff, the vocals, whatever. We sample onto our sampler the bits that we want to use. And what we use is we use the computer as well to control everything. And from the keyboards, the computer, the sampler, it all goes back to the mixing desk, which is over here, from which we can control everything. Again, we can change the levels, add different effects onto it, and basically from here it's all mixed down properly with all the different effects, gates or whatever, compressors, whatever we want to use.
How would you add a different effect then, Azmat?
Well, basically these knobs here control those effects.
Knobs?
Control those effects units over there. So we can add different types of reverb, delay, echo, whatever we want to use. All controlled from the mixing desk itself.
Azmat, when were you first asked to remix the Bhangra tunes?
It's about 4 or 5 months ago when it all started.
Was it a band who asked you?
It was Multitone Records basically that started it all off.
And what were you asked to remix?
It was a selection of tracks that they gave me off their artists that were on their labels. So basically what I did then is narrow those down to what I could use and felt were the best tracks to remix from their original selection.
Well, why did you get involved in remixing? Did you not think the tracks were good enough as they were?
The tracks that I remixed, some of them are classics in their own right, but I mean generally the standard of Bhangra music, it's good, but it can go a lot further.
Now, after you remixed the albums, Azmat, was there any more impact on the dance floors?
Definitely, I think so. The tape itself, when it came out, went to #1 in the Midlands, it went to #1 in the South as well, and it's doing very well in Manchester as well.
What do you mean when you say it went to #1 in the Midlands and #1 in the South?
In the Bhangra charts, I've got feedback from some of the media. They, especially Eastern Eye magazine in London, sent me the chart that they had, and Pataka in Manchester as well. They were telling me they get their chart from Birmingham, and it's #1 in both those charts.
How do you feel you're going to improve Bhangra music in the years to come?
It's the production side of it, I think, that needs improvement, not the songs themselves. What's done in the studio is where the work has to be done. Whether it be the bass lines, the keyboard riffs, the techniques that are used with the effects and whatever, that's where the production is going to be, where we're going to be doing most of the work, definitely with the new stuff.
Now, remixing, is that a sign of Bhangra music going more mainstream? Would you say that?
Definitely the remixes are more mainstream because they've got more Western style beats in them, keyboard riffs and soul stuff. Definitely they are, but I think if you listen to some of the new stuff as well, they're doing it themselves with the original stuff, especially like on the Sahotas-ish stuff, they've got some breakbeats in there, and that's an original track, what they're doing.
Now, Azmat, I believe you don't want to get pigeonholed as just somebody who mixes or remixes Bhangra tunes. What else have you got in mind?
Well, my own band, Still Life, is a completely soul band that we've got going in Manchester. And the stuff we do, we write and produce our own stuff. It's all soul, not Bhangra at all. So, I mean, that's the main thing that I'm involved in. I play bass for that band and co-write as well, and produce as well.
And does that mainly consist of Asian people?
3 Asian people in that. Well, myself, my brother, and the lead vocalist who's half Indian, half English, and one other guy who isn't Asian.
Now, back to the Bhangra remixing. Where do you see yourself in about, let's say, 2 or 3 years' time?
Well, to start off, the remixing that I've done on Power Packs is going to be part of a series. The whole Power Pack thing is a series of albums that are going to be ongoing. Apart from that, I've been approached by Achanak as well to do their remix album of the Panache, naturally, and the new Signature, which is out on the 25th as well. So those 3 are going to be combined to do one real mega mix album. That's the next thing I'm doing, and also multi-tone as well. They've approached me to do some producing of bands instead of remixing. They want me to do some producing of up-and-coming bands.
Now, Azmat, on Power Pack 1, the bands featured were Azaad, Achanak, Sahotas, D.C.S, and I believe a track from yourself as well.
That's right, yeah, the one on the B-side, Rave On, I think it was.
Rave On? Has that got anything to do with today's techno scene?
It wasn't so much, it's more house, that one. Housey stuff. The actual riff was taken from the Cholet theme that I really liked. I wanted to do something like that for a long time, and this was really the chance I got to do something like that.
Bhangra music, would you say it's more of a challenge than, let's say, something established like soul music?
Remixing the Bhangra stuff definitely is a challenge, because it's a case of working with stuff that's already down to tape and trying to make it different in some way, so that what I didn't want to do was just take a track and just throw a breakbeat on it and call that a remix. I wanted to do something else to it. So basically what I had to do was get into the studio, use the samplers to the fullest and the effects and whatever, and whatever I had at my disposal to make it right.
We're going to see more remixes coming up.
There's definitely a lot of budding DJs out there, if you like, that want to do remixing, and there's a lot of tracks to remix it, a lot of bands. Definitely there's a demand for it. Dance tracks, there's a demand for it in the dance floor, so there'll be a lot more that definitely in the future, I'm sure.
Now, the bedroom remixing, that's all done on turntables, whereas this is done on sampling and loops and breaks.
That's right, yeah. They're totally different. What happens in the studio is everything's lifted off the track and sampled, so there's no live stuff, which is what happens in what a DJ would do, just live stuff. It's totally different. It's a lot more complicated, a lot more work involved, but the ideas, definitely, I think you'll find a lot of DJs trying to cross over from just DJing into remixing as well in the studio. It's the ideas that's the most important thing. If you've got the ideas, there's bound to be ways of getting it down to tape.